looks dumb. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to Drop Your Buffs, week number 5 of Survivor Tocantins, and let's get to it. So, I'm not gonna recap like I have been, because I really don't like recapping, I like analyzing. So what I'm gonna do this week is I'm gonna talk about each individual player, and then just kind of talk about what they've done that's been good and bad, and where I see them going. And yeah, but just so you guys do know, if you don't watch the show and just watch this, which is weird, and you should watch the show. But this week we had Taj found the immunity idol and put it into Steven's pocket to like safe protect it. We had a hilarious reward challenge with spindles and dizziness and a balance beam, which was fun, and Jalapa won. Brendan went to exile again, and he took Steven with him so he could like fix up the whole Secret Alliance deal. We had the immunity challenge, which was entertaining and very, very physical. JT lost part of a tooth and Joe messed up his knee. But Tamir ended up winning, and Jalapa went to tribal, and Spencer got kicked off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about each individual and just kind of say what I think about them at this point in the game, week number 5. So starting with Tamira, Tyson. I think Tyson is moving into a very powerful role in the game, only because I think he's been very attentive with what's been going on, and he's also been playing under the radar a little bit. He's been letting Coach be more of the personality at his camp. So he's kind of, he's got a better position in his camp. And he's also kind of been very attentive of Brendan and Sierra's relationship. And you could tell this week he was kind of like, we gotta get rid of Brendan. He's trouble. So I do see Tyson taking up a strong role. And if Tamir can maintain numbers and take down Brendan, I think that he could propel himself into the final 5 or 4. So that's really good. Coach, I think, is on precarious ground because of his personality and the fact that people like Aaron still don't like him. I see Aaron being someone, to talk about Aaron and Coach at the same time, I see Aaron being an easy flip-flopper at this point. She really doesn't like Coach. I don't see her really interacting with some of the others, and they just don't show a lot of that in this season, and I don't know why that is. But I don't see her really being that close to Tamira at this point. And I could see her being the flip-flop and giving some other group the numbers to get rid of Coach, just based on personality issues. That said, Erin has really been growing on me. I really hated her at the beginning, and I don't know why, but she's really been growing on me as a player and as a person to watch on TV. So I could see Erin doing relatively well, maybe going to the end. I don't know if she's likable enough to garner the votes to win the mill, but I do see her going relatively far. Coach, I don't know about Coach, but we'll see. I mean, it's just really hard to predict where this game is going because there's been so many twists already. And but I do see Coach on precarious ground at this point. Debbie is a lot like Aaron. I think she's put herself in a really good position at this point in Tamira, and she's very likable. I could actually see Debbie, if she can make it to the merge, she could win. I think she could easily win this game, provided that Tamira has the numbers. At first, Debbie's video, I thought she was going to be like the hoe or whatever, and like I don't even know. She just seemed like, all I saw was the boobs and whatever. But she seems really likable, really nice. She's really taken a motherly role, very helpful at camp. So I could see her going all the way, which is really good for her because she surprised me so far. Brendan, I think, is one of the most powerful players in the game at this point, which is his biggest weakness. I think he started the game a little too hard. With the exile and the Secret Alliance and now the immunity idol, and that's put a really big target on his back. And you can see Tyson was already suspicious of his interactions with Sierra, so I think Brendan's got to really pare it back a little bit, or he's gone just because of how much time he spent at exile. And the first chance to blindside Brendan and get him out the best is going to be a really good idea for them. Sierra, she's really starting to bug me. I liked her at the beginning, but I feel like she's going to be the one to spoil the Secret Alliance and then get sent home. And I think she's also kind of losing her likability factor because of her interactions in the Secret Alliance. So I could see her making it a little bit further than some of the other members of the Secret Alliance just based on physicality. But I don't see her taking it to the end just based on likability. But, I mean, it's still really early in the game, so we'll see how all these Tamira people play out. What I feel like is going to happen, just based on how the last episode went, or episode number 5, I think Tamira will go into the merge with numbers, and it'll just be whether or not they go into it with Brendan or not. And if they can expose the Secret Alliance, they could pull over some people like Joe and JT, And like Coach would love that, you know, physical to the end. And I could see the Timbira like four, like Tyson, Coach, Aaron, and Debbie taking it to the end at this point in the game. But we'll see. So to talk about Jalapao, first of all, Joe, I don't see Joe going very far. He doesn't seem that smart. He's not as physical. I mean, he's physical, but not as physical as some of the other people. He's not as good looking. Likability, he just is boring. Like, there's just nothing, there's no spark between me and Joe, if you will, for me to really support him as a Survivor winner. So I think he'll make it 6, 7, maybe 5, but they'll just get rid of him because he's easy to get rid of. JT, I think JT's problem is how competitive he is, and you can see that. I mean, he lost his tooth trying to fight over a ball today, but just his uber competitiveness is going to be his biggest downfall, and I think the first individual immunity challenge he loses, everyone's going to want to get rid of him because he is likable, but he's also very competitive and has the ability to win all of the immunity challenges. So I think they're going to want to get rid of him early once they hit the merge. I think he'll make the merge for sure, but he's just he put himself out there too early in the game, and they're not going to want to have to compete against him. Sydney, the thing about Sydney that surprised me this week is that while her head was on the chopping block last week, like she was almost gone. But this week, she is like, no one's talking about her. She seems in a very fine position, like in with Joe and with JT, and they were the ones who were going to vote her off. So I think Sydney's days are numbered. She's an easy off. I think if Jalapao doesn't go in with numbers, she'll make 8th, 7th, or 8th or so, but she just doesn't seem like that much of a personality to really be able to work this game to get it. She just seems too dumb. Sorry, Sydney. Spencer voted out. I knew he was too naive for this game, and I didn't know that he wasn't in with JT and Joe. Like, I thought how they had edited it, he seemed very in with those guys. So I was surprised to see him targeted today, or yesterday, last night. When I watched the episode. But I was just really surprised that he got sent home, just because it wasn't preempted until like the middle of the episode. So sorry, Spencer. I knew he wasn't going to make it that far just because he was so young and naive, and I just knew he was too much of a fan that he would boggle his mind and it would not happen. So Taj just screwed her game this week. She really screwed it up. She had, the idol in Secret Alliance, but then she goes and she's a hothead at camp. I mean, she put the idol in Steven's pocket. She really put herself out there in a poor position in the game, and it didn't look good. And I see her getting either screwed over by Steven in the next episode or two, or blindsided early on, because she really blew up this week, and it sucks for her, but that's Survivor. And then the last person, Steven. Steven is in the most amazing position ever right now. He's got the Secret Alliance, and that he didn't even really put any effort into it, just like happened upon him. And then Taj puts the idol in his pocket, so he's got the ability to control whether or not she even gets the idol. And he's also in with JT, so he knows what's going on over at Jalapao. So he knows that Taj is going to get voted out. Like this week, he knew that Taj was on the chopping block, but he wasn't going to, he was kind of considering, do I tell her that she's on the chopping block, or do I let her think she's fine, and then she gets voted out, and I keep her idol in my pocket? So I thought that was really interesting. Just how that played out, and how Steven has really propelled him to a pretty good role. I still see him, even with the immunity idol, having some issues at the merge because of being a Jalapao. If Timbira goes in with numbers, at the rate they're going, it could go in 5 and 5, or I don't even know when they're merging. It could be 4 and 4. We don't, Survivor. Maybe they'll never merge. But it's been really fun so far. I love all the personalities. Jeff Probst was right that they're all very likable. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this breaks down. It's a 2-week gap till the next episode, which also looks like it's going to be a recap. I don't know if someone can fill me in on that. I couldn't really find any details on CBS.com because I'm a little internet illiterate. But, yeah. But, it looks like it's 2 weeks, and then in 2 weeks we have a recap. And then, so we might not have real competition for about 3 weeks. And in 3 weeks, you will see a scene change, because behind me, this is my little room in Paris, in France, and I leave in 48 hours back to the States. And the next time you see me, I'll either be at my parents' house or back at my university in my little cool new friend in my dorm room. So I have no idea where I'll be, and the next time you see me, But until then, see you later.